All right, guys, it's two things that happened that I wanted to jump in and talk to you about quickly. We got an hour till showtime. We're going to break down everything that's happened today. We started, my gosh, with this case getting thrown out in the aftermath down in Florida, the documents case, in the aftermath of the assassination attempt on President Trump, the first day of the RNC. If that wasn't enough, two big things happened today. Donald J. Trump is officially the nominee of the Republican Party. The roll call taking place right now. Florida, with his kids, putting him over the top to officially make him the nominee. That's number one. Number two, we got a VP nominee. JD Vance is the nominee that Donald Trump has chosen to run with him to be, in all likelihood, the next vice president of the United States. Now, for longtime watchers of the show, in April of this year, the first week of April, and it could have been the last few days of March, I sent my pick in an envelope, signed and sealed, to producer Ronnie in California. PricewaterhouseCoopers has kept it hermetically sealed in a guarded vault since then. Armed guards around the clock, drones flying overboard. I mean, we've done everything to protect my pick. I want to invite producer Ronnie into the show for the first time to help us reveal what my pick was for vice president of the United States, who Donald Trump would pick. Producer Ronnie, welcome to the show.
All right, Sean, here we are.
All right, just so the audience is clear, hold up. What date is my envelope postmarked from the United States Post Office, officially stamped on the envelope, headed to you in California at an undisclosed location, under seal, guarded by drones, PricewaterhouseCoopers guarded? What is the date on that envelope?
April 4th. So
April 4th, and show people the back of the envelope. It has been sealed and taped, correct?
Mm-hmm. That is correct, my friend.
You see my signature in the corner?
Yes.
Ronnie, by the power vested in me by this show, I would like you to open that envelope.
All right.
And then I will ask you when the time is right. We got to draw this out apprentice style. Okay. Tell me when the envelope is open and ready to be read.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the question is it worth watching the show? Do I know what I'm talking about? I'm laying it on the line right now. There's no hiding. That is my stationery. There's no question about it.
It's really bad. What
Ronnie,
does that say? Does that say AO?
Tell the audience who I chose.
Looks like that says AOC. Why would you pick AOC?
It is, I thought that, you know how I thought Trump would go wild. Ronnie, maybe the audience can help a little. Turn it around, show it to the camera. Who did I choose?
All right, fine.
JD Vance, my friends. April of this year, the first week of April. I'm doing the math. That is April, May, June, July. We're talking 3.5 months. I chose that. I knew that.
So
I knew that it would be a good fit for Donald Trump.
Let me ask you, what made you pick JD Vance back in April? What were your inclinations at that time?
Oh, so now you're asking the questions.
Yeah.
Here's why. I've said this all along on the show, and this is where I don't think people understand the role of VPs or Donald Trump specifically, and this is why I love doing this show, because I can bring people insight that's not a bunch of pundits who've never worked in a campaign, who don't know the candidate. And I can bring that insight every day. And I'm being serious about this because I see so many people who espouse all this stuff that they read in a book or took a poli-sci class the first year. God bless them, but I can bring a lot more to the table because of my experience. And this is why I knew who the pick would be in April. Because fundamentally, JD Vance shares a desire with President Trump to a certain philosophy, the America First philosophy, the MAGA philosophy. If you think about JD's book and what he's been talking about, no, he wasn't exactly on board with Trump from the get-go, but on issues they aligned. Okay. He gets it. This is, and my thought was Trump wants someone that he doesn't have to convince begrudgingly on the America First agenda. Now, look, I'm reading some of the comments. I don't know that everybody's on board, but the difference is it wasn't whether I agreed with him or you agreed. I'm seeing some of this. The bottom line is Trump felt that I don't need to sell this guy on my agenda. I believe that he shares the America First MAGA agenda. Don Jr. has been a huge advocate of his. He understood him. He knows him. And when you spend that kind of quality time with somebody, as you're going to do with the vice president of the United States, I saw this every day with Trump and Pence. You need a partner. And you need somebody that is going to instinctively, reflexively agree with you on issues and not have to be convinced of the agenda. And you don't see that very often. And I thought Trump needs this. Plus, JD Vance, and I don't think Trump thinks about this, but to some extent you have to. Who's going to carry the mantle? And JD Vance gets it.
Okay. So let me ask you this then, just a follow-up question real quick. This morning you had talked about how some of the base is not going to be happy with this pick. And is that just because of the previous things he said, or what? Are there other things besides that some of the base is going to sort of be divided on?
Yeah, I think that's a good question because, I mean, look at the comments as we're going. I mean, some people ideologically aren't on board. They're saying, you know, hey, he criticized Trump. And I get that. But look, who hasn't criticized Trump in 2016? I'm not forgiving it. I'm just acknowledging the reality. Think about the people that have served in his cabinet. Mike Pence, for goodness sake, wasn't exactly a Trump fan. There's a lot of people that weren't big Trump fans. Kellyanne Conway worked for Cruz and criticized him, right? There's a lot of people. Once Donald Trump got into office and showed what a fighter he was, I think so many people said, I was wrong, I'm on board now. But JD Vance ideologically was always there. He just didn't know that Trump was there. This was like, you know, you're probably not old enough to remember, but it was sort of like when the Reese's fell into the peanut butter. No one thought they would taste great together, but you finally dunked it and you were like, wow, this works. And I think Trump and JD just hadn't seen eye to eye before each other's agenda. But look, JD gets it. I think he's made it very clear. He's dynamic. He can push back. He fundamentally believes in this. I think to your question, there's some other people that question, you know, does he have the amount of service required? There's a variety of reasons, but guess what? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you're president of the United States, you need someone who you fundamentally believe has your back. Number one. Number two, can step into the role as president right away. And I think he's got that in JD Vance. He fundamentally believes that this guy is going to do this. The other thing is, look, you want to talk about a contrast. We really are bringing the next generation along, right? This is going to be the future of the party. Here's a guy who is articulate, who understands. He's got an amazing family. I think as people get to know JD Vance, by the way, I consider him a friend. I texted him. I congratulate him. I think that you're going to become big fans of his if you're not already. I'm reading through the comment. You know, like I said, one of the guys, Vance, not the best, but I like it. Haley was my pick. Yorkie Mom, I get it. It was never going to work. They didn't gel when she was UN ambassador. And if you can't handle being UN ambassador, do you really want to think you're going to hang as VP? I don't think so. I get why people say that politically. I just don't think Trump needs is looking for someone that can help him. He wants a partner.
So when are we going to hear from, when is his speech? When is JD going to speak?
He will accept the nomination. So Trump tonight became the nominee. I expect tomorrow they'll do a roll call for JD Vance to become the nominee for vice president. He will then have to, then he will officially accept it. By the way, and I'll post some of these photos on Instagram from 2016. They then go backstage and literally have to sign these legal documents because this is more than just a show. This is a legal consequential action. Where you become the nominee, you can officially take the other half of the donation from Max Out Donors, right? So it's like $6,600. You can only spend $3,300 in the primary until you become the nominee. And that's part of, you talk about Biden having to be roll call nominated, virtually nominated. It's going to let him give him the ballot access, but it'll also give him access to the money, the other part of the donation that he wasn't getting. And that's something that's going to be important for these guys as well. They get access to a lot more funds that they may have in the bank, but may not have been able to spend, because if somebody gives you $6,600, you can only spend 33 of it until you become the official nominee. There's a lot of consequences of this, and it's important. So he'll do that. Then JD will accept the nomination Wednesday night. Trump will accept his nomination Thursday night, and then it's official.
Okay. I mean, it looks like I'm streaming in like 120p, so I'm going to sign out. But congratulations.
Okay.
You got it right. Way back in April.
Yeah, and look, We will look real quick for everybody that's on here. I'm just reading some of the comments. Now that's official. It's time to okay. The transition to absolutely. I think we've got a lot going. Hart, he's better protected. Yeah, exactly. I think they're going to be a lot more interesting story. By the way, in Trump, we'll see how this weekend changes things. But until he became the nominee in 2016, Pence did not get Secret Service protection. It wasn't, he got picked, I think it was a Friday, right? He didn't get the nomination until the next week. So for like 5 days, he was still governor of Indiana. He had his state protection. But we'll see how this changes. I'm sure Capitol Police would protect him regardless. But I think the events of this weekend are going to overcome this. Anyway, we have a lot to break down. We'll be at the morning meeting tomorrow, 8:30 on this channel. Continue to break it down. And then tomorrow night, plus tonight at 6 o'clock, stay for the premiere. We are now 2 hours away from the premiere of the Sean Spicer Show. Hart, Carter, everybody that's so tirelessly supportive of this, join in. We appreciate your support. We'll see you in 2 hours. We got a lot to break down. See you then, and then back tomorrow morning at 8:30. A lot going on this week. Thank you for all your support.
Hop in that
We'll see you in a
chat.
bit.
Hop in the chat. We're always in the chat, so we love seeing your comments.
Thanks, Ronnie. We'll see you. We'll show it again tomorrow. Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.